Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus on this Thursday, August 20th, 107 in the afternoon. Temperatures outside quite mild, 85 degrees. A little bit of a breeze out of the northwest, but not that bad of an afternoon. After some morning rain, and we'll go over some of those rainfall totals, some areas got a pretty good soaking, and some areas got really nothing at all. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director Bridgette Readel. Sorry, Bridgette.
Did you just call her Bridgette Riddle?
Yeah, I did. Well, at least you're listening.
Riddle me this.
At least you're listening. Thank you. Same old song and dance, Bridgette, as, some areas in very narrow bands got hit with quite a bit of rain. Some areas over an inch, and some areas, like here at the studio, only a couple hundredths of an inch. Unfortunately, it's the same old. Just we can't get any widespread rain. And the Drought Monitor Index, and you can check this out on our social media, we have just been upgraded now into, it's not a surprise, extreme drought conditions now. So things are continually getting worse around the FM area and points northward into Trail County. Again, not a surprise, but I am starting to see some signs of this extreme dry pattern starting to ease up a little bit. Climate Prediction Center is also agreeing that over the next couple of weeks we'll return to near to a little bit above normal average in precip. Now, that's not going to erase the drought even close to coming to erase it, but it will at least help a little bit in terms of short-term moisture.
I think for the time being, we'll take what we get. There's no way around it, right? Mother Nature makes that decision for us, and we got to bear in mind that it's not going to be helpful to a crop. Maybe there'd be a little bit of extra effort made to soybeans. They've been hanging on a little bit better, and glad to see that's happening. As I am currently in Holton, Kansas, on my way back to North Dakota, this area doesn't look too bad. The Flint Hills were extremely green. If you follow me on the Ag Mafia Snapchat account I'm hosting this week, and you'll see how nice the Flint Hills looked. But otherwise, it's pretty sporadic. I feel like it's very early to see corn down here that's dried down and approaching harvest very quickly. It might not be. They plant earlier and have long day varieties and are maybe at that point where things are much better right now to get into a harvest. Unfortunately, we're seeing things like videos of farmers in northern Cass County into Trail. You got 5-foot corn with part of an ear that's not well pollinated. That's not going great. And currently the Pro Farmer Tour is going on. So folks that are out as grain merchandisers, those who are part of USDA team that's assessing the U.S. corn crop, they're surprising us by saying that so far it's still okay. Illinois, Iowa, and some parts of Indiana have had really good crop raised this season. That's outside of the area that got flooded tremendously. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that really changes by the time we get to harvest.
Right. And some of the rainfall totals, again, were pretty impressive in parts of northeastern Clay, northwestern Becker. Boy, I'm having trouble talking today, Addison. I blame this on you. And southern Hubbard County. In fact, some areas, let's see, Hillsboro checked in with 3/4 of an inch. Ulen picking up about a 1/2 inch. Let's see here. Mayville picking up just under 2/10 of an inch. Grand Forks area picking up about 1/3 to a 1/2 inch. And a little further out in Lakes Country, areas out around Hubbard and just north of there, 1 to 2 inches of rain. Now, we're done with the rain for today. We're looking at mainly dry conditions and a lot of sunshine out there. It will be a little breezy as we head throughout the afternoon. Highs today in the upper 80s around the FM area, so it's going to be, some would say it's hot, but dew points are low, so we're not looking at humid conditions, just hot conditions and dry, with the west-northwest wind at about 15 to 30. Clear skies tonight, winds lighten up down into the upper 50s to near 60. And for Friday, we'll see sunny skies and then turn partly cloudy later in the day. Highs in the mid-80s. Slight chance of a sprinkle or shower in Lakes Country Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But again, most areas not going to see a thing. And then the weekend looks dry. Highs around 80 on Saturday, mid-80s on Sunday. And another chance for showers and thunderstorms coming in Monday. And then it looks like another chance of some showers and thunderstorms towards the end of next week. So at least there's some in the forecast. Some is better than none. And temperatures remaining above normal all the way through the next week to 10 days. So summer is hanging on, and unfortunately, so is the dry weather as well. And this weather has been brought to you by the Hot Tub and Sauna Store. Discover the wellness you deserve at the Hot Tub and Sauna Store in West Fargo. Sink into a brand new Caldera spa. Imagine coming home every night to that perfect daily soak. Their hot tub's built for pure comfort, super efficient energy use, and easy saltwater maintenance. That's the Hot Tub and Sauna Store. Stop by today next to Costco in West Fargo.
So I had just sent the drought monitor to Addison. If he could get that ready for the live stream, much appreciated, Addison. Meanwhile, for those who got rain or other weather events, we'd like to hear about them. You can give us a call on the JLA Insurance phone line of 701-293-9000. We appreciate the help from Nate Thorsrud at JLA Crop Insurance, and we'd love to hear from you as far as what's going on with your weather situation. You can send emails ag or weather at flagfamily.com. I want to take a moment to apologize. I had a listener email me this morning and he said, "How come you give out your email but you don't answer it?" Apparently, my spam filter caught something that I was unaware of. I wouldn't go look at the spam filter. I didn't want that for lunch today. Ba-dum-ba. So I will make sure to keep a little bit better eye on that. But to that listener, I was able to fulfill the request for information that they were looking for. And so if you have missed out on sending an email and not gotten a response, please just resend. More than happy to take care of those. For those watching the Lighthouse Commodities live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Acres TV, you can currently see the U.S. drought monitor. Now, we know that Governor Kelly Armstrong went ahead and announced that the entire state, aside from Dickey County, is in a statewide drought emergency, and he's authorized some funds for livestock producers, etc. And as you look at that drought monitor, you'll certainly see that Trail County and a little more expanded from that. Let's say from Fargo to Grand Forks and on both sides of the river. Bright red, as Dean mentioned, we have now hit the extreme drought status. Also, western North Dakota bordering Montana, really from the South Dakota line up through Watford City, just to the south side of the Missouri River, you'll notice that we have a narrow band of extreme drought in that area. Overall in the state, we're seeing, well, things are not awesome, but there are areas where crop is still good. We have a listener who is down in the McIntosh, Emmons, and Logan County area. He has sent me some photos as to how the crop looks down there. And Addison, I'll probably forward those over to you here when I get a moment. But sunflowers blooming south of Lair, those look nice. There were some soybeans that he sent photos of. I see some decent pods. They're a little thin. They haven't filled out yet. I did not see soybean aphids on those pods, so I think that's a win for us. And as we mentioned earlier, soybeans seem to be hanging on just a little bit better than most other areas. Another photo just received from one of our listeners, Chad Wheeler, who is a farm manager. He sent us a photo. It looks like they got about 1,500 of an inch of rain in their gauge. And then also friend of the show, Sarah, said up at Hillsboro, they got about 3/4 of an inch. Not enough to save corn that is currently being tilled under near Grandin and Gardner, North Dakota. So crop insurance adjusters have already been out saying there will be no yield on fields, and those fields are going to be tilled under. In some cases, I do know that there are farmers who do not want to burn up their equipment, like their shanks on their cultivators or their chisel plow points, by digging down that corn stubble. Some will get big shredders, like a giant lawnmower, and they're going to shred those stalks. Maybe there'll be some tillage after we get some more rainfall. This is certainly going to hold back what we do on fall fertilizer at this point, and the price is an impact on that as well. It's not just the dry conditions, it's what would we pay price-wise if we had to be buying fertilizer at this point, because that's still an elevated price. Folks aren't overly excited about making another payment or buying something else on an input when we're facing these dry conditions and don't know how long they'll last. I do know that the American Ag Network will only last a short time, so you don't want to miss it. That's up next with the Livestock Report. When we return, we're going to be joined by Brittany Snyder. She's with the Center of Dairy Excellence. We're going to talk about our adopting a dairy cow. Hey, one of our sponsors, Landmark Companies, they work with us for the Flag a Farmer program and also the Drainage Difference, which we have once a month here on Weather and Ag in Focus. They've got some new exciting news. I got the press release on it. We're going to want to share that tomorrow. So, hey, hang on. Watch for that information coming on out. And then also, I want to give a big thank you to Dean Blair down at Hall Precision Machine at Milner. I had what I thought was going to be a bit of a challenging project. I had a part break in my bread machine, of all things. And I didn't have the actual part, but I had a picture with a tape measurement next to it, and I had the bread machine. He figured it out. And he does that kind of thing for so many other people. If you have a concern with a piece of farm equipment where there's a part that you need machined, plastic isn't your only medium you might be working with. There's lots more. So talk to Dean over at Hall Precision Machine. He can help you out. They do a fantastic job and they sometimes don't mind a little challenge. And as we get to harvest and everybody wants to look for ways to get parts quicker and faster, I think that's going to be a great idea in a lot of ways. Speaking of great ideas, well, Brittany Snyder with the Center of Dairy Excellence is joining us today. And Brittany, there's a lot of good ideas going on over at the Center of Dairy Excellence. Tell us what you do over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about Adopt a Cow. So what do we do with Adopt a Cow? So we have a program called Discover Dairy, which is all about focusing on elementary and middle school education. And we do that by writing lessons that talk about different things in dairy. So whether it's animal care, milk safety, how dairy impacts the economy or the community. And one of our programs within Discover Dairy is the Adopt a Cow program. And this program is just so unique and so fun. It gives kids a chance to adopt a real calf from a real farm and get to follow their life for the year through pictures and videos and make a real connection with the dairy farmer.
All right. This is open to teachers, and we've already got schools going back into session here in the state of North Dakota. I saw that happening as well in South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Kansas, where I have been. Is it too late for teachers to say, I'd like to have this program in my classroom this year?
Oh, good question. No, not too late. So registration is currently open. We actually have rolling enrollment all the way through until January 31st. So even if you're scrolling on social media and come across this later, you are welcome to hop in anytime. But we encourage you to enroll before September 1st. Anyone that's enrolled by September 1st will get a mailed welcome packet, which is a certificate of adoption of their calf, a printed picture, a welcome letter. So there's all kinds of cute stuff that comes in that packet. And then you can start the program on time with us September 22nd. And on October 6th, you find out who your calf is. So yeah, absolutely. You can sign up anytime between now and January 31st, but do it now and you'll get that welcome packet mailed to you.
First things first. We are not actually getting a cow. I just want to make sure that before people start driving by the studio, they understand we will be paired with a dairy farmer who has the cows. We're not bringing
Correct.
the cow home to roost at the studio.
Hey,
okay, good.
We've got plenty of room out back. We could fence that in. I think that's a good idea, Bridgette.
You mean I got excited
The
for
murder-
nothing?
Yeah, the murder chickens on the lawn won't allow it. They will
Good point.
chase and hit them away.
Yep.
Yep. Nice try though, guys. Nice try.
Right? Yeah, no, definitely. These cows are staying on the farm. The farmer is caring for them, but you will learn all about how they care for them, and we'll make it feel as real as possible for you to feel like it's truly your animal that you get to experience and enjoy as you get to watch her and learn about her from the farm.
So I've registered us. I anticipate that every time we get an update about our cow and what's going on, I'll be able to share that with our listeners. We'll be getting photos from our dairy farmer, etc. Now, I believe as a teacher, you signing up would receive curriculum, and you could use that in your classroom. Will I get the curriculum too? Maybe I can use this with listeners.
Absolutely, yeah. So you will get access to everything. That's kind of the cool part about Adopt a Cow anybody can sign up. So I know you all at the radio are signing up to share with your listeners, which is awesome. We have assisted living group centers that sign up. We have libraries that sign up, and we share everything with everyone, no matter what. And then you just use the pieces that work for you. And there might be some pretty cool activities in those lesson plans that work for you that you could talk through or encourage your listeners to try. I would welcome you to check them out and see if there's anything that works for you.
Well, we have many more questions. Some of the things we want to talk about with Brittany today is kind of the general calendar of the year in the life cycle of our cow. We also want to look at talking about the farm where our cow is going to be hosted, so to speak, and more. And we will get a chance to do that when we return. We'll follow our discussion with Brittany Snyder. She's with the Center of Dairy Excellence and the Adopt a Cow program. interested in going to watch some football in October down in Las Vegas? Well, we want to make sure you get there. The ultimate gridiron getaway in Las Vegas, brought to us by Valley United Bank, where our roots make us stronger, is going to be helping us out. There will be round trip airfare for two from Fargo to Vegas, 3-night hotel stay, and VIP tickets to see our favorite local college football team. My, oh my. And if you have an interest in wanting to get in on winning some tickets, listen for the Gridiron Sounder after 2 o'clock today on the Jay Thomas Show. You can get qualified, and then you just got to show up at Kingpins on September 14th to secure that you are the winner. We only have winners when we do this show, and Brittany Snyder is one of them with the Center for Dairy Excellence. We're talking about here at WDAY, we're adopting a cow. And we're not the only ones. I just want a quick touch on the fact that last year, 1.3 children were part of this program.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So 1.3 million children were in the program, and 2.1 million total. We've actually impacted over 10 million students in the last couple of years. It's a really awesome opportunity to just build that connection with so many people.
Wonderful to hear and see. It really is. I am very excited to be a part of this program and be sharing it with our listeners. I probably should follow up and make sure I got all that registration stuff right. It'd be terrible if we didn't. So, all right, let's talk about what happens throughout the year. You mentioned that between now and a date in September, we'd be getting our welcome packet to our cow.
Yes. So we'll be sending that welcome packet out in September to you. So right now we're still in registration. But once we wrap up at that beginning kind of September 1st date, we'll send out those packets. You'll have it before you learn who your calf is in beginning of October. And then the whole year it's a pretty simple layout. We pretty much do a monthly update on your calf from the time she's born all the way until she's 6 months old. So they're actually, a bunch of the calves are being born right now. They can be born anytime at the end of August or the first week of September, and it's up to the farmers which calf they want to pick to be part of the program. So your calf could be born right now. We don't know. We haven't found out who they are yet. And then you will find out who they are in October, and then you'll get monthly updates in November, December, January, February, March. And then the really cool part is the end of the year. We do a live chat on YouTube where anyone can join the YouTube link and use that chat feature to submit questions live with the farmer and the calves, and you get to meet the farmer and your calves live on YouTube. It is an absolutely fantastic way to end the program. It's everyone's favorite.
So we probably won't be going to the farm to see our calf, but we're going to stay in pretty constant contact with it nonetheless.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Monthly updates and all kinds of good stuff.
Do we know anything about our dairy farm or the farms that are involved in the Adopt a Cow program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, these dairy farms really span from all kinds of different farmers. We've got some farms that are 40 cow small local dairies, and then we also have farms that are 10 to 15,000 cows, and it just depends on where you're located in the country. I can give you a sneak peek. You will actually be assigned to one of our Minnesota farms, that it's the Groch family. Groch Dairy. They are absolutely fantastic. I love working with them. This is their 3rd year in the program now. Farmer Lisa is wonderful. They have a couple hundred cows, and they've got a robot farm. And it's really cool to learn about them and just everything that they're doing. They're really expanding and growing as they continue to just improve their dairy.
Will different classrooms and different groups of folks are going to be paired with different farms? Are the farms all Holsteins? Do we have different breeds so everybody gets a chance to learn about the different breed of animal as well?
Yeah, so some farms are mixed breed farms. Some farms are just Jerseys or brown Swiss herds. It's kind of a mixture. So you would be, I do know for a fact Groch Dairy is all Holstein, so I can tell you yours will be a Holstein. And you pretty much only learn about your calf throughout the year, but you do have access that if you wanted to put any other cow codes in to learn about other calves, you can, just as like who's who in the program. There'll be about 85 calves in the program, and you certainly could research and look up those other calves. We actually do a breed announcement or a sneak peek on the breed first on September 22nd, and we're going to teach you all about the different breeds then too. So there's an opportunity to kind of learn about all those different breeds, the benefits of them, and why different farmers choose different breeds.
Cow codes. It's like they're 007 agents. I love that term right there.
Right? Yeah, the cow codes make everything pretty easy to access all the resources.
For our sound engineer, Addison, I will do my best to find you a milking shorthorn herd so you can admire from afar.
Yes.
I know
They are gorgeous.
They are his favorite, yes. Excellent. I think one of the other things that is going to be important for folks is right now with such a huge emphasis on protein in American diets, dairy has really stepped up in taking place in that diet because of the fantastic health benefits, protein simply being one of them. And as part of the curriculum, will the discussion include dairy foods, where our dairy goes, anything like that happens throughout the year as well, Brittany?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm so thankful for this trend, but I think it's neat that people are finally recognizing that dairy has always been so impactful in our diet. There's a reason it has 13 essential nutrients. It's got that high protein. I'm just so excited that everyone else is excited about it now because dairy has just always been a staple. But yes, we do focus on dairy nutrition as well. That comes in a little bit more towards the end of the year once we learn how cows are cared for. Obviously, they need to have good care, be able to produce milk, right? So we talk about that care first, and then we talk about the milk they produce, what it can be turned into. We have some lesson plans that focus on that nutrition. And of course, with the new dietary guidelines that just came out, we are actually in the process of revamping our lesson plans to make sure we're aligning with what the new dietary guidelines are too. So we are actively putting out new content too and working closely with Dairy Checkoff to make sure all of that messaging and lesson pieces are accurate and up to date with what we can now have, especially in schools, which is whole milk, which is exciting.
I'm very much looking forward to sharing so much of this with folks, and you do that all the time. Give us kind of the story of the Center of Dairy Excellence. The Adopt a Cow program is really only one thing that you do.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the Adopt a Cow program has become a large piece of who we are, but on a greater scale, we are actually two organizations under one roof. So the Dairy Excellence Foundation is where Adopt a Cow and Discover Dairy live. We also have a high school program called Dairy Leaders of Tomorrow that is a great resource for our high school ag educators, for students who are looking for a career in dairy. We do scholarships, we do internships for students who are pursuing careers in dairy. And then we have a completely different side of our organization that is more Pennsylvania specific. So we're based out of Pennsylvania. All of our education programs are nationwide, but our Center for Dairy Excellence is for our Pennsylvania farmers, and we do a lot of grants and support for our farmers and just everything we can do to help encourage and bolster the economy for the Pennsylvania dairy industry. So there's a lot of different moving pieces that's going on with our small 8-person team, but it's a lot of fun, and we're very thankful to be able to just be a small piece of the puzzle for all of the dairy industry.
Many people think of dairy and automatically go to Wisconsin, America's dairyland. Then we also have California, who is the largest producer of milk as a state. We don't think about Pennsylvania. What does the dairy industry look like in the state of Pennsylvania? A lot of smaller herds. Are there any outstanding statistics you can share with us?
Sure. Yeah. So Pennsylvania, it's definitely up there. So we're actually ranked second in the nation for the number of dairy farms. And so it's a little over 4,800 dairy farms in Pennsylvania. We do have an average herd size of about 83 cows. So like you said, definitely smaller farms. And a lot of our farms are relatively landlocked, especially on the eastern side of the state. So I don't anticipate those getting larger, but it's slowly but surely that median changed from 78 to 83 over the last 10 years. So maybe some growth. But in general, I think what's really cool about Pennsylvania dairy industry is it is so niche and unique. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of ice cream creameries and local cheesemaker artisans and so many people inventing and creating their own concepts and selling them locally. And I think that's just because we are in an amazing spot where we have the land for the farms. We are near many different open markets that are big areas of people like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Harrisburg's a good one too. And then, for importing and exporting and stuff, Philly, of course, is right there for the Philly port. We're at a really great local spot. New York City's not far for transport. It's a really healthy and vibrant industry in Pennsylvania. We constantly are seeing new growth, and it really is exciting. So watch out. Pennsylvania is definitely making their way, and we're excited to continue seeing more growth.
Brittany, thanks so very much for sharing the story of dairy, introducing us to the Adopt a Cow program as we participate in that for the coming year. And when folks have questions and want to know more, where can they find the Center for Dairy Excellence?
Absolutely. So you can find us at the centerfordairyexcellence.org. But if you're looking for the Adopt a Cow program specifically, you'll want to go to discoverdairy.com/adopt, ADOPT. So discoverdairy.com/adopt, and right there is where you learn all about the program and get signed up, and to learn specifically about our K to 8th grade lessons and resources, which goes far beyond K to 8th grade adults and of course radio stations too, which is exciting.
Are we the first?
You might be the first radio station. I think you are. I think you took that cake.
All right. Well, just for that, we'll have a tall glass of milk and say cheers. All right. Thank you, Brittany.
Go. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have a pretty dry-looking forecast and temperatures remaining on the warm side. We'll let you know what it looks like for the rest of today and a sneak peek into the weekend. All that when we come back. And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. 1:52 in the afternoon. Temperatures outside in the mid 80s across the area, and we'll make it into the mid to upper 80s this afternoon. And a little bit of a breeze starting to develop now out of the west northwest at about 10 to 25. We'll continue with that breeze through the evening hours, and then those winds will go light overnight tonight as we bottom out right around 60 degrees. And then tomorrow, we're looking at a lot of sunshine with highs in the mid-80s. A few afternoon clouds could trigger off an isolated shower, mostly east of the valley. And then Saturday, Sunday look dry, right around 80 on Saturday, low to mid-80s Sunday. Chance for rain Monday. And then I'm seeing a few more chances for rain across the northern plains here towards the end of the month and into that first week of September. So the very end of the month, first week of September, those 2 weeks, I think we're going to start to see at or above normal precip around the area. So there's some good news on the horizon. I know it's a little too late, but we could always use the moisture.
Addison has our Lighthouse Commodities camera pointed at I-94, which would be where it crosses over I-29, and it looks like traffic's at a standstill. So if you were planning to be westbound on I-94, just based on what we can see on our live cam brought to us by Lighthouse Commodities, I wouldn't go that way. I think I would find a better route.
Yeah, just if you're thinking about it, don't. I just saved you like 20 minutes out there.
That looks messy because I've watched that same camper sit there in I-94 for the last 3 minutes and hasn't gone anywhere. So best of luck. Meanwhile, other photos that we can share. I received pictures from one of our listeners, Cameron. He's down in the McIntosh County, Logan, and Emmons County area. So he sent us what crop is looking like in that region. They're also fairly dry right now, but we'll scroll through some of those on the Lighthouse Commodities live stream. We are seeing some soybeans that appear to be rather resilient. They seem to be hanging on pretty well. As we scroll along to our next photo, we have the opportunity to take a look at a field that is, as soon as I see Addison scroll to my next one, there we go. Those are the soybeans right there in the field. Those look like no-till soybeans to me. They look pretty good. They've got some shotgunning in the leaves. There might have been something chewing on them, but there's a picture in the series, and we'll come across it after a little bit, where we were able to see the pods in the underside of leaves, and I did not see any soybean aphids. There it is. I did not really see any aphids clustered underneath there, which is a positive sign. Usually we start to see some aphids when we have these very dry conditions. Also, south of, and those soybeans, by the way, were south of Wishek, New Zealand. The sunflowers that we're showing right now, which are in full bloom, those are south of Lair. It looks to be a nice stand. I have noted sunflowers being generally a little shorter than usual this year with some of the drier weather, but boy, these must have been some later planted beauties. I saw quite a number of blooming sunflowers over the last 2 weeks, and these look great. So thanks for scrolling those for us. Glad to see that some crop still looks really good. Most of the areas of the state, our wheat has already been combined. It's been okay. Nothing that anybody's planning on really writing home about at this point.
And Bridgette, we've got Ken on line one. He's got a question for you. Ken, go ahead.
Hey, Bridgette, this is Frostbite. If you remember me from,
yeah.
Okay. I know this is probably a hard question in a sense. I was just wondering if there was any tests done on conception rates on these cows because of the heat. How do you separate that away from grain and other things? This heat's got to be affecting it, right? What can we blame it on, if they don't conceive? So
that's a great question. So, okay, couple of things to think about there. One, when did that happen for the cow, right? Was when she was being inseminated, whether it was artificially or if there was a cleanup bull out there, what was the weather conditions like for her? Was she under heat stress, or was it a time where perhaps it was earlier in the year and things weren't bad? I will probably need to ask a vet to see if they can tell us, what's the safe period, right? We always think about human children that we want to get through the first trimester, that things are at a much more higher level of safety before the last of pregnancy. I can check on that with a veterinarian and see what that might look like too. So great question.
So I'm curious to know if they'll report it later in the year when they start doing some preg checking, if they're going to find more cows open or not. So
We'll
something to
probably
ask.
hear that. Usually the NDSU Extension Service does a nice job of finding out some of that information too. So we'll look for that.
Okay. So there's a small herd of milking shorthorns northeast of Holly.
Now you have my attention.
He does not milk them. He does not milk them. He breeds them and then sells them to a dairy south. But anyway, the folks own a veterinary service out in West Fargo. So their last name is Johnson. If you're curious, he would more than happy to let you come pet him. So anyway, just to let you know.
Bridgette, Dean, we're going on a field trip.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking
You're all up for that, aren't you?
Pack the Comrex, grab a camera.
I want to go to Rolog because the highlight tractor this year is Steiger at the Western Minnesota Steam Threshers Reunion. So Frostbite's got our attention. Maybe we just need to go and check out these cows in the same trip that we're going to look at tractors.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure. Yep. Anyway,
That's
I can give
awesome.
you more information off air. So
Okay. We'll get in touch with you. That would be awesome.
okay.
Thanks, Ken. All right. Well, that'll do it for today's edition of Weather and Ag in Focus. Want to thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't go anywhere. The Jay Thomas Show, he's live out in West Fargo for Cruise Night. He's coming up next.